Hello. Yeah, I'm presenting this equipment to you in detail as part of your consideration to if you will purchase it or not, but also just to illustrate to you the quality of the equipment. So it's Paul here. Anyhow, that's your SAS 4000 up in Terameter. It's a used machine, but still in very good shape. These are your cables. You've got 200 meters on the current cable. The brand new cables, and these reels are very heavy duty. As you can see, they're all plastic, but very hard plastic. They can take up to 1,000 meters of sounding, depending on how deep you want to go. And that's the other current cable. So there they are, and you got the potentials here. The potentials have 35 meters in them. Normally, I think you sound with 20 or 25 or 5 on your groundwater jobs. So the equipment, I'll take you through. I'll make a detailed video of the inspection of the equipment. All right. So this is the equipment you will receive, and to start with, that's its serial number there. I don't know if you can see that properly. There it is. And this is how the equipment actually looks. So you could see it's got a few just cosmetic marks or something like that, but there's nothing really wrong with it. The battery component, just hang on a bit. All right. The battery pack is a clip-on external battery pack. There it is. I will remove it. So, as on any normal Terameter, you either can get clip-on batteries, but in our experience, we use an external battery. It doesn't have to be that big. That's a car battery. You can get a deep cycle solar battery that's small enough. Otherwise, if you got these batteries here, the clip-on batteries, let's say if it runs out in the middle of the site, then you've got to either charge it with power until you go back to the lodge. So these are portable and easy, and they carry much more power. You can use this for a week without charging it. So I'll clip on the battery, normally just as the usual one. There it is. I'll put it on. Just as usual. Keep that on. As usual. Keep that on. And there we are. We are equipment. Alright. Turn him around. Alright. As usual, switch on. Press this together. And that is going to take about 10 seconds. As you see, the screen is already on, but it's got to boot like a computer. It's a computer, actually. It's a computerized system, so you give it time to boot. So don't hurry, starting to touch those buttons until the screen restarts itself, the machine restarts. So you give it about 10 seconds, as I said. There we are. There. I don't know if you can see me. All right. I imagine what you're doing is just groundwater. And I'll go in here. So on this system, you can use it the usual way, the SAS, as any parameter. You can also use this for imaging, as an imaging system for 2D and 3D, and then you can also use it for IP. So I'll go, that's SAS, the standard way there. And then the mode I'm in is resistivity. So I'll go there. I can either do SP, which is self-potential, or resistivity, or induced polarization IP, but in this case you want resistivity. Right, so I'll use this menu to select. So there, resistivity, and this tick here, which says there, says enter. That's when you're confirmed and happy with everything. So in there, I got to come down here in the next menu to create a file name where I'll be working in for the day, where all the data will be either sounding or profiling will be stored. All right, so I'll come here and say enter, and then I'll say new there. So new, I'll confirm that with a tick, enter. All right, so it will bring a file name here. I'll just say enter. So I've created a new file name, and then under here you see we've got sounding, method sounding there. We select that, and what layout are we using? Schlumberger, Schlumberger, or you call it Werner Schlumberger or something. So if I go in there, sounding, I can either choose profiling, sounding, or untitled. But in this case, let's say sounding. Right. All right, I come down here and choose the array, whatever you call the configuration. Come down here, the different arrays you can choose. If I say Schlumberg or Popo or Werner, depending on what the job is, but I think you use Schlumberg. Right, so I say that. And then in this case, because when you're sounding, it's just a single channel, so that will be, these cables are single channel, so it will only use one channel. The machine can use 4 channels if you use a multi-electrodes, but these are manual based cables, so they're single channel. So come down with all that, and then if you wanted to filter out or eliminate power line frequency, in case you're working in places that have electric power lines running over you or within the area, you enter the frequency here. It's normally 50 hertz, 50 to 60 hertz. So anyway, you don't need to go into that. So you just come through all these menus, and if you're happy with that, you will go and confirm it with a tick, this here. All right, there. And then this is how you select your power, your current. So for now it's 10 milliamps. I can select from whatever, from 1 milliamp. I have a choice to go up to 500 milliamps. Remember, just for reference, your SAS 300 ends at 50 milliamps is the maximum it can push out. Now this is just to show you the difference. That this a much stronger transmitter. You can push 500 milliamps or an amp, 1000 milliamps, which is 20 times what a SAS 300 can push out. Right, but I'll go to 10 milliamps. Remember, the more power you draw out of, you push out in profiling or versus, the more you run the battery out, the shorter duration you have on the battery. So there's no need to use that. I think you're happy to use 10 milliamps or 20. So I'll go back to 20 to 10, for example, and then I'll confirm that there. These are delays when you send out the power. That's a delay in which the transmitter or receiver will trigger. The acquisition time is that, and then it cycles from one reading to another. You can adjust the time there, but if I'm happy with everything, come down here, you see that there, measure, there's a dot, and then I'll go on here, it's that. So that's for demo of the equipment. I'll do a sample of this for you. So that, in that case, if I was to measure, I would measure like that. So it's meant to send out power. So because the cables are not connected, the C1 and C2, it says cannot transmit selected power. So next thing is, well, I'll do a simple small vase. I don't have a very big area. I've only got just the backyard of my house here. It's not very big, and it's a bit raining, as you can see here. So yeah, I'll just do a simple 2-station vase here.